What's up, y'all? So I think today we're gonna it's probably gonna be a shorter one. We're not too far from our wedding. It's coming up soon.
Less than a month away.
And I don't know. I think this is probably just for us. I don't know, right?
Check-in.
Yeah, because we want to sort of talk about like where we at, how we feeling about everything.
And honestly, I feel like the story always comes from looking back, which obviously we will do that as well. Like, okay, this is what happened.
What story?
Like, we talk about our wedding. We're like, well, this is what happened before and this is what we went through.
Right.
And I haven't seen very much or any discussions on like in the thick of it. Here we are, not yet married, about to get married. What's going on?
You got, the technical things. You got your dress, finally, right?
Finally, I have my fitting today.
Yeah, we're fitting.
By the way, my dress is huge. Huge.
We have our list very small. Mostly family, close family. Not like extended, and very, very, very close friends. Mm-hmm. And so, we
have all the pieces laid out, I feel like. So now it's time to start bringing them together and figuring out how they all fit together.
Right. We're literally very close. So I think we've been doing some counseling. Yeah, some
premarital work.
And
with pastors, which I think is going really great.
Have you had some jitters?
Jitter? You mean like cold feet?
Not cold feet, just jitters.
Jitters? Not really. I think the conversations that we're having through premarital is bringing up some things that we really get to think about and talk about. But I don't feel like I have any doubts or any jitters, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I asked that because a lot of people usually go, they go through things before, and they start to have questions about where things are going and where they've been, and and I don't know. This is a good.
Have you had jitters?
What are jitters?
You asked. Wow. Well, you're the one who asked me about jitters.
Let's understand what jitters are. I guess for me, jitters are just sort of like, okay, I guess this is what I'm getting into. Oh, okay, wow, okay.
Yeah. I've had that.
I guess that's come up a few times.
Yeah.
But I don't think any of us in this world are perfect, and I think it's an opportunity for us to be accepted as we are, and to have grace for who we want to be and who your partner wants to be.
I feel like I've heard people say that the time when they get engaged or the time before the wedding is like the most stressful time, and I would say. I would say I kind of agree. I don't want to use the word stress, but I think it has been a challenging time for us for many different reasons, not just within a relationship, but just life has a way of, I think, forcing you to talk about and see different things in your relationship. And I wonder if that's like, on purpose almost, to really get us to make that decision, like we are committing to this. Mm-hmm. Or, I guess in other situations it kind of brings up some doubts or whatever. But I don't know. I just think that's interesting that right before the wedding, it gets really, really challenging. And it seems like that's across the board, Because my thing was my intention was to have peace throughout this process of the wedding. And I think I've had to fight for my peace for sure. But fighting means that it has been a little challenging,
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's interesting.
Yeah. I think for me, I haven't been really in the thick of the planning part of the wedding.
I'm planning my wedding. No, people don't do that normally. They have a wedding planner.
Your sister's not helping you?
Yes, but that's different from a wedding planner.
Yeah, we didn't hire wedding planners.
No.
I mean, we thought, it's not something that we didn't want to do like a really big wedding.
Yeah.
It's still costing money.
Here's something
But-
you need to know.
But
I want to figure out a way to, because what you need to know is your budget. You're always going to go over your budget. But I'm wondering, is there a way to not go over your budget? Like,
yeah, I mean, you don't have literally, we don't have to go over the budget. You could just cancel the photographer, cancel certain things, and
I was committed to staying within our budget, but I think
no, so the thing is, so this is why it's hard, because you put things in your budget, then you realize, oh yeah, I have to buy shoes, or yeah, I have to buy name tags, or you maybe put all of those things in your budget, and then day of you realize, oh, I got to pay for everyone's validation, or day of you figure out, oh yeah, I have to, this is why people have wedding planners. If you can have exactly how much this is going to cost with taxes, with everybody. And some people, can't make it, and some people can. And, so everything is sort of mostly, in line, but you have some up in the air things that, can, and then you have your honeymoon, and then you have your flights, and then you have.
It's hard to know exactly how much things are going to cost. For example, my dress alterations, I asked around and I got like a number from people that said, okay, it's probably gonna be around this much. So then I planned for that. But when I get there, it's way more because of all these things that no one knew to consider. And you can't plan for that. And so when you're there, you're like, well, I need to get my dress altered, so I have to do this. You know what I mean?
Right. So there are a lot of things that you're just not gonna know.
Yeah.
So I mean, other than that,
I would say if you're gonna plan your own wedding, especially, or just in general, I would say have your budget, try to figure out all the numbers as best you can, and then add like $5,000 that you're not touching.
I wouldn't put a number on that because you don't even know.
I know. I'm saying
you should have a contingency based on how much you've spent on your wedding, but I'm
just saying have this extra, like almost like your savings account where it's there, but you're not planning to touch it. I don't know.
See, that's the thing. Like if it's there, you're gonna touch it.
Right.
So I think it's possible, but in order for it to happen, I think you have to sacrifice certain things and say, nope, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And
I think we've done a great job at staying close to our budget compared to what I know it could have been, especially since our
right. So let's move past that. So as far as the wedding, I think I'm not as stressed as I thought I'd be. I think where I was getting to earlier was that I haven't been completely in the planning process, and I think that supported me. And so I think it's important for one or two, or just have a plan on how that will get accomplished. Just as like I don't talk to Jasmine a lot about things that are happening in the economy or with politics or with other things that, might stress out the entire home or family. There's certain things that, I can handle this. I can take care of it. You deal with what you got to deal with. And I think that was something that we planned.
Yeah.
That we talked about.
For me, I am planning the wedding, and here are some tips I would give you if you're planning a wedding. One, especially if that your partner's doing other things that they want to be a part of the planning, but not what, like you're saying, not in the details of everything. I would say pick a time where you ask about the wedding, or proceed it with, can we talk about wedding stuff? Because if you just ask whenever you're thinking about it, which is going to be often, it can feel like, I'm trying to get work done and you're talking to me about wedding stuff, it gets really, you always have to do something when you bring something up. So it can interrupt your day, and just have a time to talk about it, I would say. And for me, something else I realized is that life doesn't stop, which I think is, you can decide what your priorities are, and maybe your wedding is the thing that you're doing, which is amazing. I think that's amazing. For me, that was not the case. I almost like canceled the show. I'm a singer, so I almost canceled the show and did a few other things because of my wedding. They're so close together. But I really sat down with myself and decided to still do my show because it was an important part of my career. I feel like this year that I get to do. And so it's just about prioritizing. I think my therapist the other day told me, okay, you have a lot of things that you still get to do them. Like, right, life doesn't stop, and you have decided that these things are still important. What are maybe 3 to 5 things that you absolutely want to do during this time, the last month before you get married? What are 3 to 5 things that you really want to focus on so that you can have a good time during this month and you're not overwhelmed, but you're still getting these things done? And I thought that was a great question. And I've been considering that and like figuring that out. Because I do want to enjoy the last month. I don't want to be stressed. I really don't. It's a beautiful thing that we're doing. We're getting married. We're putting together a party, a dinner, for the people to be with us. And I want to have that peace throughout. So that's been my process.
Yeah, I think I like what you said about life doesn't stop. Really, it's practice. There's always going to be something that has to happen on top of this, on top of that. You have kids, a new job, a new pet, a new home, a new something that's going to get in the way of a project, of a concert, of a movie, because we're in film. I'm in film and television. She's in music. But like, it's always something that's going to get in the way. Not in the way, it's just part of life. And I think when you practice, I also have this thing. I think I look at it more as practice, just as sort of, you can't sleep. You know what I'm saying? Not literally, but like you can't sleep on getting these things done because it's part of the vision.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think, I think in general, when we have, a big event that is happening in our lives, that, you don't also neglect the other things that still, needs to happen in your life. You know what I mean? I would like to say, hey, you know what? Since I got this wedding,
everything stop.
Wait, no. Well, hey, you know what? Since I've got this wedding, right. I mean, I got a wedding right now, so we don't have to pay, bills or like mortgage or like, for anything else. Or because I got a wedding, so let's just like let that, let's put that aside.
Right.
Like now,
you get it.
You're gonna be outside next month or whatever. But it's important for those reasons.
How are you feeling about the guest list and creating that list? How was that process for you?
The guest list is tough because I have a lot of really good friends and family. There are some cousins I wanted to invite that I didn't. But it was important that we, for me, I made it about not just family and not just friends, but people who I see and speak to on a daily basis or most often and have been a part of my growth and have been a part of our growth. And we could have easily did a wedding with 250 people. But, I think what we thought about and talked about was, we want to purchase a home. So like, do we want to spend that much money? You know what I mean? Yeah,
we decided early on what we wanted to spend on the wedding.
Right.
And people is money.
Huh?
People is money.
Right. So we decided, you know what? I believe that the wedding is like the gun. It's the beginning of the race, and not necessarily a race, but it's just the beginning. And I think a lot of people sort of make that the destination. And you know, for me, I just that means, okay, boom, let's go. You know, and thinking about that is, I feel like being responsible is especially when you're not really getting much support as far as putting it together. I think it's about being responsible of what your vision is and what you're trying to create for yourself and for your family. And you know, we talked about that, and we thought of a good number, and we stuck to it for the most part. But the list was tough because, you know, obviously there's a lot of people who you want to be there, and you know, some of them are gonna be like, oh, I didn't get an invite.
Yeah, for me the list was a little tricky, because I mean, I have a good size, you know, amount of people that I wanted to invite. It wasn't a crazy number. It definitely wasn't over 100. So I was like, oh, this is easy because I can just put my people on there. But what I had to consider was he had a big list, and I know he made a lot of sacrifice, like cutting his list down. So then I wanted to create room for him and not just invite everybody. And so what I had to really think about was not only who have I talked to in the last year or so, but who has been a part of our relationship, who knows him of my friends and my family, who has asked or about us, or who's just had a conversation with me and him in the last year, the time that we've been together. And I think that's how I decided, you know, these are the people that I want.
Yeah, and that might not be your process. Your process might just be who do you know is going to be there forever. Like 20 years from now, they're going to be around, and you can call them and say, yo, this is...
That's how I decided my party, my bridesmaids and everything.
Yeah, so, and you know, hey, listen, some of y'all can have 500 people at your thing, or 1,000. You know, we probably could have as well. But yeah, we decided not to at this point at this moment in our careers.
Yeah.
And that's fine. We are doing another celebration after the honeymoon. We're going on a honeymoon to Tulum.
I'm very grateful for that.
We're going to Tulum. And you know, sometimes you don't put that in your budget, and you realize, oh snap, I gotta put this in my budget, and then it goes over. But yeah, so that's what you go. I for the most part, I think we're both excited about it. It's coming up. I know there are some things that...
We got a lot going on before then. We have your bachelor, you're going to Miami. We have my show, which is like a huge show that I'm having here in Los Angeles. So we're filming it and everything, have a whole band and everything. We have my bachelorette weekend. Then we have a rehearsal dinner. We have family coming into town.
Yeah, it's a lot. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's important for us to be as calm as possible and
spend time with God. For me, I know it's easy to go, but I need to just like sit for a minute.
There's a lot that can disturb your peace of mind in these moments and this time. So I think it's important for you to just find that peace.
Like my dress arrived like last week. Guys, what?
and yeah, so I mean, I thought, you know, this is going to be a short one. I didn't want to talk too much about it, but I guess I wanted to.
Yeah. No, it's cool to talk about. It's cool to talk about the journey. This is something that isn't always talked about right in the middle of everything. And we'll obviously do an after wedding and wedding experience, and you know, we'll keep talking about it and see how it all turns out. We also have been doing a cleanse.
Yeah, we've been doing a 20-day sort of cleanse, sort of fast, sort of.
Yeah, raw vegan.
Yeah. So there's a lot that's been going on. Yeah. My dog is you know, he's an old man now. He's been dealing with some health issues, and you know, that's been stressful for me. Well, for both of us. And you know, there's usually
a lot of adjusting while also planning and maintaining everything else that you have in life.
Yeah. So I think what we're learning is that you just gotta go
and check in with each other, communicate. It's easy to just kind of go through everything and be like, okay, I got this and she's got that, but I think communication, like just telling each other how you're feeling and what you're thinking about and all that stuff.
Yeah, so that's all that we have. Make sure you subscribe, like
share,
and share, and
comment questions or I don't know, things you want to know for next time.
Listen, we just started this thing, so we don't know where it's gonna head or where it's going. But we're just having fun with it for now.
We're excited about it.
And yeah. So see you next one.